Okay guys, today we are back again with my 2005 Silverado. We're fixing another small issue that a lot of these Silverados have, and it has to do with the heating and air conditioning, really the blower speed. So basically what happens is one day you get in your truck, you go to start it up. I'm not going to start it all the way up because you can use the fan while it's not started, and basically what happens is you're either going to lose fan speed 1 and 2, or like what happened in my truck, you're going to lose every single speed, which basically means you can't use the air conditioning or heating, which is kind of annoying because it's still springtime and it's a little bit cold in the morning, and it's nice to have heat when you first get in the truck. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what you guys can do to diagnose the problem. So if you guys do any kind of research on this issue, what Google will usually bring up is about 1 million different things going over the blower motor resistor unit, which looks like this. I ordered mine on Amazon because I had already taken all this apart and figured out what the problem was, but I'm basically going to show you guys how to check on everything. So first what you want to do is go to the passenger side of the truck. As you can see, that's where we are now. And there's going to be 2 7mm screws that are underneath the kick panel right here. There's one here towards the passenger side door all the way, and then there's another one here, which is camera's probably not going to pick up, but it's 2 7mm bolts. So I'll take that off and then I'll show you guys what's under there. Okay, once you guys take out the 2 7mm screws, as you can see now, I have pulled the panel down, so it's going to be a little bit easier for you guys to see what I'm talking about. There was one screw here and one screw here. Random straw wrapper. Your resistor that's in the truck already is going to be located right here. I already unplugged the plug that goes into it, and I'll show you what the problem was. Since the resistor was bad, you now get a harness that looks like this, where basically a couple of the points on the harness are melted, which is really bad. That could start a fire. So I ended up buying, like I said, I already took this all apart, but I'm just showing you guys everything. I had already taken this all apart, and I knew that the harness was bad, so I ordered a harness off of Amazon too, which was $10. It's not that expensive. If your harness looks like this, you should absolutely get a new harness. This can definitely start a fire. So I decided to just spend a little bit of money, get the new blower resistor set up and the harness to make sure it's absolutely safe. This is really dangerous. GM should have really recalled this, but you know, it's General Motors, so just make sure you guys replace both parts if the harness looks like this. It's very important for your safety. So I'm going to go in now and take the old resistor out, and we'll see what it looks like. As soon as I figure out what bolt size it is too, I'll let you guys know. Okay, once you take out the 2 screws that are holding up the resistor, there's also a harness that goes to your blower motor, which basically the resistor tells the blower motor how much, it determines how much power to give it and how fast the blower has to spin. So once you take those 2 screws out, don't just go ripping this out, because you'll actually ruin the harness that goes to the blower motor, or potentially break the clip. So I'm going to take that off real quick, and then I'll show you guys what this actually looks like compared to the new one. Okay, as you can see, I got the resistor out. I just want to show you guys something real quick that'll make this a little bit easier. This is the plug that plugs into the back of the blower motor, and basically in order to get this out, you have to push down on this clip and then pull it directly out. This is going to be plugged in basically upside down, so the clip's going to be on the bottom like that. So the easiest way to do it is to reach your hand under there and take a screwdriver and push on the bottom part of this with the screwdriver, so you can then pull backwards and out. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be plugged in with the front part facing you, so you're going to have to reach under, just kind of feel where this part of the clip is, and get it with the screwdriver. Just push up on it with the screwdriver and then pull out, and it'll come right out. But yeah, as you can see, the old resistor is pretty much destroyed, all rusted out, so that's not good. Then I'll show you. So that's the old one. You can see how much rust is on it. And this is the brand new pretty one. As you can see, everything is shiny and new. And also the bolts for this, I did figure out they are 5.5 millimeter, which is kind of a random size, but that's what it is. So I'm going to bolt this back in real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys how to splice in the new wiring harness. So now that I have the resistor bolted back in with the 5.5 millimeter bolts, it's nice and tight, you can see. With these, the pieces are plastic, so you don't want to over tighten them, so just get them kind of snug. You don't want to crack the plastic pieces, but now it's in there. I just have to plug the plug back into the actual blower motor, and now I have to switch the harnesses as well. So what I'm going to do is line the harnesses up, the flat side on each side, and then just splice the new wires in. So I'll do that and then show you what it looks like. Alright, so I stopped halfway through real quick just so I could give you guys kind of an idea of how I'm doing this. Basically, the old harness, I'm cutting the wires, and then I'm matching them with the new harness wires. So obviously A goes to the tannish wire, which is A on here, and the biggest way you can make a mistake is to have the harness backwards. As you can see, the clip is down. I have it facing the floor mats. Same thing with this clip, and like I said, it's a shame they didn't color match the wires to make it easier so you could never make a mistake, but as long as you have the clip the right way and you match the letters, it's got A through G, you'll make sure that you wire it up the correct way. So when I'm all finished, I'll show you guys. Okay, so I have the new wiring harness spliced in. As you can see, it's not the prettiest thing, but you're not really going to see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The other wiring harness that wasn't wrecked but comes with a new one on the resistor, I plugged all the way back into the back of the blower motor. That's the one that we had to use a screwdriver to get out earlier. So now I'm just going to hook up the harness and fire it up, and we'll see what happens. So here's a little tip. The wiring harness that I added is pretty long. You can see the wires are really long. I left it long just in case. I don't know how much I was actually going to need, and I didn't want to cut it and it be too short. But later on, if you wanted to, you could always, before you hook this up, you could make these shorter so you don't have this big loop. To me, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be under there, under this piece, and you won't see it anyway. But if you want it a little bit cleaner, you can cut this harness shorter when you splice everything in. Okay guys, so as you can see, I turned the truck on now, so the flow is a little bit higher, but one is just kind of weak. I mean, one on the fan speed has always been weak in my truck. Two, it's really hard to hear, but it is coming out. Three, pretty good. Four, really good. Five, awesome, probably better than it was before when the truck had the other harness in it, because it probably wasn't getting the right amount of electricity. And then with the internal return, it's really strong. So came out really good, guys. Now I just have to go underneath, put my 7mm bolts back in, put everything back together, and it's done. Okay guys, now that everything is all buttoned back up, panel's decently tight, just like it was before. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was really helpful. Like I said before, if your resistor looks like this, it is definitely no good. And also, if your wiring harness has any kind of melting points like this one does, definitely spring for a new one, because this can start a fire. But again, like I said, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was really helpful. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a lot more with the Silverado, fixing various problems, doing how-tos, and also with my Camaro as well, and doing updates. So thanks guys.